Why you're now being profiled at checkout. I just seen the title and I was like, I don't know what this is. It sounds interesting. No pauses, by the way.
Prices were just prices. You walk into a store, check the price tag, and know what you see is what everyone else paid.
True.
But that promise is breaking. Today, the price you see might not be the price I see, even for the exact same thing at the exact same moment.
Okay, so is he gonna say it's because I don't pay with an app, or I'm not like a member, or what are the other reasons? It's right, like grocery stores normally have like some type of like membership program that you join. It's normally free. It's like it's just like one of those like just join our club. So then now you feel like attached to this. Because I have one at my local grocery store, and bro, I'm not gonna lie, they got good deals, bro. They do. They have really good deals, better than like, you know, other people. So it's like I feel like it's a lot easier for me to go there, and more convenient. So maybe that's what it is. So it's like versus somebody who might not have that deal, now they're like kind of feeling left out, and they are left out because now they have to pay more money. Is that what he's gonna say? I don't know.
Now you might be thinking, isn't that just supply and demand? Airlines and Uber have always done this, and we accept it. The thing is, it's not about when you buy anymore. Now it's about who you are. Companies are taking advantage of your emergency to charge 8 times more, penalizing you for being loyal because algorithms know you won't switch, and even charging you more based on race. They're using everything they know about you.
Okay, bro. Wait, what? Wait, they're trying to... Wait, what? Bro. Wait, I never heard of this.
From your location, your device, and even your battery life. And with AI, it's getting faster, smarter, and completely
Your battery life?
Soon, every industry will have the tools to figure out just how much you're willing to pay, and you won't even know what's happening.
Wait, that would actually be kind of crazy, though. Do they actually do that? Like, say, like, I need an Uber. I got to get home, right? And my phone's on, like, let's say it's below 20, right? Where it's red. And I'm just like, yo, I gotta get home. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta get this Uber. I gotta get home so I can charge my phone. I don't have no charger out here, blah, blah, blah. Gang, they're gonna charge more because now you're willing to pay more just to get home. Cause you're like, I don't care how much it costs. Like, I gotta go home. Sheesh. Wait, that's actually devious work, though.
It's not about just paying a few extra bucks. If something isn't done about this soon, we're heading towards a dystopian future where our lives become an auction of how much misery and urgency sellers can detect in you. And by the time you realize you've been manipulated, it'll all be too late.
The price of your groceries may soon change right in front of your eyes.
Dynamic pricing bullshit.
Whoever invented dynamic pricing is going to hell.
What is dynamic pricing?
So first you need to understand what prices used to represent. For the last century, the price tag was a handshake. One price for every customer, but somewhere along the way, that social contract started to change. So to understand how dynamic pricing will soon shape every aspect of our economy, the question becomes, how the hell did we slowly get here? Because believe it or not, before the US airline industry was deregulated in 1978, plane tickets were static, meaning it didn't matter whether you bought it 3 months ago or 3 days before, the prices were the same. But during the 1980s, American Airlines, led by CEO Robert Crandall, created a system that changed how prices work everywhere. The system we see today, where if you book early, you generally get cheaper seats, while people flying last minute or on popular routes or better seats paid far more. And yeah, it's annoying, but at least we understand it, right? At the end of the day, it is basic supply and demand. But after American Airlines implemented the system, it added $500 million in extra revenue, and just like that, dynamic pricing was born. And soon after, hotels and other markets started doing the same. And as these industries got similar results and their revenue grew, so did the backlash. In 1999, Coca-Cola tested a smart vending machine that could detect hot weather and automatically raise the price of a cold Coke. The company's CEO at the time, Doug Easter, defended the idea by saying a Coke is simply more valuable on a hot day, so it's only fair that it should cost more. But
I'm not gonna lie, bro, low-key genius for that though, because he's not wrong. It's just like kind of a dick thing to do. He's not wrong. Like, bro, a Coke on, I don't know, like, oh yeah, let's say it's a hot day, you just got done, maybe not working out or anything like that. I don't know who's washing down a workout with a Coke, but you just got home from work, and then you walk by a vending machine, hot as shit outside. You like, damn, I need something to drink. I've been drinking water all day. Let me get a Coke. Now the Coke, instead of it being like $2, is like $3.50. You're like, shit, what the fuck? When the fuck did shit get $3.50? Boom. It's a bit cooler outside or something like that, or like, I don't know. Yeah, maybe like the sun is down or whatever. Boom. Now the price drops down to $2. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, bro. That's kind of smart, gang. I can't even cap. That's kind of smart. I've never seen that before. They must have like had like some backlash or something. I haven't seen that. That's interesting though. I never knew that.
People did not like that. And eventually, the company backpedaled, promising to never try something similar ever again. But just a year later in 2000, another pivotal moment happened in this little history lesson. At the time, Amazon was still a young company, and Jeff Bezos never shied away from taking calculated risks.
Jesus Christ, bro. You see that noggin, gang? Damn. Yeah, Jeff, I'm glad you went bald, gang. I ain't gonna lie, bro. You're like, shit. You were going through it, twin.
So without telling customers, Amazon started charging different people different prices for the same DVD movies. So it's pretty much a secret A/B test to see who would pay what. And a lot of people didn't realize this until forums quickly started finding out that loyal returning customers were being charged more than new customers.
Personally, I would flip it. I would have the loyal people pay less because now they're more inclined to come back. Because now if you come to the door and you're paying for, let's say, a DVD or whatever, right, back in the day, because that was like the only way to watch movies or whatever. You pay for the DVD for $5, right? If you are a loyalty customer, whatever, like they have your phone number, I guess. Like, I don't know how they would track that otherwise. They know you're a loyalty member. Now you only pay, let's say $4, $3.50, somewhere around there. Or $4, right? Boom, you join, you cost $4. Now you wait, like you're joining and you're like a part of the system for like, I'd say a couple months. Now you can pay $3. You know what I mean? That incentivizes you to continue buying movies and continue being a loyal customer. So you pay less, but in the overall, you would get more out of that, right? I mean, like, everybody's not going to do it, obviously, but I'm just saying. Because paying them less first to get them in the door and then paying them more after is... That one, I don't know. That one's kind of shitty, bro. You're kind of backhanding you're backdooring your loyal people.
Customers. So backlash started
I don't know
growing,
about that one.
But Amazon denied it all. They insisted that the price differences were just random pricing tests rather than true demand-based pricing. But then some emails leaked directly referring to the situation as a dynamic price test. And the backlash became so vicious that Amazon had to apologize and actually refund nearly 7,000 customers who overpaid for the DVDs. And just like Coke, Amazon made a pinky promise not to experiment with individualized pricing again. But as you'll see in a bit, that's not a promise that either Amazon or the airlines upheld. And
so it's like, but in their situation, they just shouldn't have lied. They just should have said, yeah. Because, I mean, obviously, if people, like, can find out, like, bro, a loyalty member, I became a loyal member, and now all of a sudden I'm paying more. The fuck? I'll just, like, maybe just never become a member or something like that. I don't know if it's something like that, or they just recognize the person, and then they're like, they charge them more or whatever. Like, that shit kind of ass, regardless, though.
What all of these early experiments
I don't know what the hell they thought was going to happen.
Clear line. If dynamic pricing felt impersonal, like a reflection of seat availability or timing, people accepted it and tolerated it. But at the moment that prices felt personal, either because of your loyalty, your habits, or simply because a company thought they could squeeze you just a little bit more, it felt like exploitation. But more importantly, what it showed companies is that even if people hated it, dynamic pricing was incredibly profitable. So instead of abandoning the idea, the company started building different tools, gathering data, and waiting for the right moment to try again. In a world where everything from prices to assets are being manipulated, there is one thing that isn't susceptible to these sorts of spikes: gold. And this is exactly what today's sponsor, Monetary Metals, is doing. They're changing how they figured out a way to change you're getting a deep price.
Oh shit, my fault.
And when that 10 times harder to find,
Wait.
dynamic pricing not only has gotten fixed in the physical your goal.
Horrible snipe.
Now,
Oh my
back to
God,
how
that was bad.
companies learn from their past mistakes.
That was bad.
Because today, when you can buy anything online, dynamic pricing not only has gotten 10 times better, but 10 times harder to notice. Because now companies can hide behind algorithms, and when that happens, not only does pricing become invisible, so does accountability.
Undetectable. Okay.
Because remember our friend Amazon? Well, now they figured out a way to change millions of prices a day so fast, no human could possibly keep track of whether you're getting a deal or you're getting screwed. And they almost got away with it until a case involving public schools exposed just how far this can go. For example, a city employee in Boulder bought a pack of Sharpie markers for $8.99, while Denver Public Schools paid $28.63 for the exact same item on the exact same day. What was happening was Amazon's algorithm was spiking prices right as big orders came in, and it specifically targeted the schools that were frequent buyers. So now dynamic pricing isn't just about what you're buying, it's about who you are.
I get it. I get it because, like, especially if they're using the school funding or whatever, like, it's not like they're screwing an individual. But it's still like, damn, bro, like, what? Why is it raising the price for them, though, bro? That shit kind of sucks. Now, I guess, like, dynamic in the sense of I'm going to raise the price for you if you, like, if you buy a lot. Like, say, like, you buy more than 100. Now you gotta, like, if you buy in bulk, then maybe there's, like, they charge you, like, an extra premium for that. But then I guess the only way to circumvent that would just be to, like, buy, like, 52 times, maybe. I don't know. I just feel like that's kind of weird, though. If anything, I feel like they should get a discount. Because then that would, like, they would buy more, right? Like, wouldn't they buy more if you give them a discount on it? I'm just trying to figure out, like, why charging people extra money. I get it. Because, like, you know, they need it. So now it's like, since you need it versus want it, now you're going to be, you know, you're going to be more willing to charge, to pay more. But I don't know. That's kind of ass.
In what situation you're in at the exact moment you click buy. And to be fair, that's not always a bad thing. That's literally how Uber disrupted the taxi industry, where prices go up when demand spikes and it goes back down once more drivers become available. But what happens if you really, really need a ride, like during an emergency? In 2012, when Hurricane Sandy hit the East Coast and shut down New York's transit system, people were desperate to get out of the city. So Uber's algorithm responded by jacking up fares 8 times its normal rate. And as you can imagine, the backlash was immediate, but Uber CEO didn't budge. He defended the surge, arguing it was necessary to keep drivers on the road. And he doubled down even more in an internal memo to drivers: "We're not going to stop surge pricing because of a few news articles."
I ain't gonna lie, that's low-key respectable. I can't even cap. Especially in 2014, I thought this was like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't think it was 2014 game. That's 12 years ago, bro. Like, that's crazy. He stood on business, bro. He stood on it. And you know what? In a world, well, back then it was a little different, but like in a world where people don't really be standing on shit, I can respect that he at least said price surging, stood on that shit. And I ain't gonna lie, I kind of agree, bro. Because, yeah, it sucks that, like, oh, I need an Uber to get out of the city during this hurricane. Well, the Uber also has to get out of the city. You know what I mean? To be fair, this is your choice to work your job in the middle of a hurricane. Completely your choice. However, they are doing you a solid by getting you out of the city. The least you could do is pay them a little extra. Now, increasing it 8 times is low-key kind of crazy. But it's like, I mean, you got like a hazardous fee. You got this. You got like, you know what I mean? You do got to pay like a little. You got to fork up some extra clams for sure. For sure. If you're trying to like get an Uber during a hurricane. Like, shit, if I'm the Uber, I want a little extra. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I might even need like a little extra tip. And I'm damn sure getting a 5-star regardless of whatever service I provide. Because I just drove, like, there was a hurricane behind us, gang. Looks like the movie 2012 back there. Like, you know what I mean? Nah, bro, we getting through this.
It's here to stay. Well, the backlash grew so much that the regulators actually stepped in, and by 2014, Uber agreed to limit surge price.
Never mind, bro. Well, it wasn't him. He didn't stand on it. It was the, you know, the regulators and shit, like, stepped in, like,
Pricing during natural disasters.
I ain't gonna give him no
the
flack.
damage was done. Consumers saw what dynamic pricing can look like when you have no other choice. And that same dynamic played out on a much bigger scale in 2021 when Texas was hit by one of the worst winter storms in state history. The power grid
2021.
collapsed, and soon after, electricity prices surged more than 10,000%, hitting the legal maximum of $9 per kilowatt hour. Now, it is important to note that
Damn.
dynamic pricing for utilities isn't nothing new, right? Lots of people pay more during peak hours and less at night, and that's fine. It's predictable. But without boundaries, and especially during a crisis, a lot of Texans found out that the system can turn on you. One woman who normally paid around $150
that system ruthless, gang. It's ruthless. Because they don't look at y'all and think like, oh yeah, this is a person, family, blah, blah, blah. Like, paycheck to paycheck. They don't give a fuck about none of that shit. They're like, hey, for you to use these utilities during this time, like, you know what I'm saying? We're going to have to charge y'all extra. So either you turn them fucking lights off or, you know, you're going to have to pay. You have to fork up some extra money. Like, yikes. That's kind of crazy just saying that, but it's like, you know,
$50 a month.
it's easier because they can hide behind the actual, like, brand themselves. So you don't know, like, the person to blame, like, the singular entity. But, yeah. I was gonna go on a crazy rant. Oh my
by a
gosh.
company called Griddy, which is basically kind of like Uber for electricity.
$400
Really?
a day.
That's a day.
I never heard of that.
That's crazy.
Unbelievable.
She wasn't alone. Others were hit with massive charges just for trying to stay warm. So once the storm cleared, the lawsuits flew. The Texas Attorney General launched an investigation accusing Griddy of price gouging during an emergency, which was already against state law. But Griddy tried defending themselves by claiming that they had warned customers to switch providers because, yeah, in the middle of the worst snowstorm in a state that literally never snows, your first instinct will definitely be to go change your electricity provider. So soon after, Griddy's business was effectively shut.
Yeah, no shit. What the fuck do you mean? Hey, change providers, gang, because we ain't budging. The fuck? What are you talking about, bro? Did they think that was a good idea?
Down.
I guess fucking using some electricity company named fucking Griddy in 2021 is probably not the move. So, yeah, if anything, they probably got... like, come on, gang.
And the good news is that the state had to step in to cancel thousands of those predatory bills. But the point is, dynamic pricing today is
W Texas, though.
so good, you really don't even realize you're being screwed until it's too late. What's clear is that this is just the beginning. Because if prices now aren't just based on what you buy or when you buy it, but based on who you are and what you need, then there's only one direction this goes next. A dystopian future where dynamic pricing starts creeping into every high-stakes part of your life, where prices aren't set by the market, but set by your income, location, and your digital blueprint. It might just sound like I'm fear-mongering, but the
So, like, what would happen if I didn't put my location on Amazon? Because even if I'm sending it to a location, like the shipping location to where it's going, I don't think that's necessarily, like, does that count as, like, okay, the person is getting this thing sent in, like, I don't know, Atlanta, Georgia, or whatever, right? But it's like, so then those people pay more than somebody living in the middle of nowhere in Kansas. Or maybe it might be the other way around, because I would assume Atlanta has a lot of moving parts, and then middle of nowhere obviously doesn't. But, you know, because if I just turn my location off, I mean, to be fair, I don't really care, but, like, it is kind of weird, like, just knowing, like, where you're at can affect how much money you pay for shit online. You would think online would be the only place where you'd be safe from that, you know, because that's kind of shitty. Not even kind of, bro, that is shitty.
early signs are already here. because consumer advocates and policymakers are already warning about a new kind of pricing that goes beyond algorithms. They call it surveillance pricing, where companies use everything they know about you to decide exactly how you'll be charged. And we're a lot closer to that reality than most people think, because remember how this all started with airlines? Well, their current dynamic pricing wasn't enough for them, and now they're flirting with other ways to get you to pay up. Delta Airlines recently revealed interest in using AI to analyze personal data like how you shop, where you're traveling, and even why you're flying in order to set individualized ticket prices. So I think you can already imagine why this will be bad. Because imagine a relative died recently and you received like a personalized email about, funeral services. And let's say that airline companies were able to use this as signal that you'd be willing to pay more and less likely to shop around for a deal. And it's exactly what a lot of people thought. And the good news is that Delta did backpedal from this and promised not to use personal information.
Yeah, like, whose bright ass idea was that? What the fuck? Guys, I got a great idea. We're just gonna use their personal situations as leverage to have them pay more on a plane ticket. What the? And then everybody in the room is just like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. The fuck? Like, bro, everybody involved in that shit gotta start getting looked at sideways, bro. Everybody involved, bro.
To set prices, but again, you never know what they'll do in the future because other companies are already doing something similar. Rideshare apps like Uber are sometimes charging users more when their device's battery is about to die. So is it a stretch to think that they'll start charging you more when you find yourself in a bad neighborhood in the middle of the night? Again, that's speculation, but some companies are just...
Now, that is one thing I learned in this video, though. I gotta start putting my friends on the tech, bro. We all riding around like, who getting the Uber? I'm like, bro, whichever one of us got the highest phone percentage, bro, they gotta buy the Uber, bro. Because the Uber price is higher based off your phone percentage. And then they're gonna be like, Cap, bet. We all gonna go on the Uber app. We all gonna go to the exact same spot. And we gonna hit the shit. And then my shit gonna be lower. His shit gonna be higher. His shit gonna be higher. His shit gonna be lower. Like, I'm telling you, bro, like, it's the shit. You know? So I am kind of, I'm kind of glad I seen the video for that reason,
straight up discriminating. A recent report found that Princeton Review's online SAT tutoring service charged higher fees for zip codes with a higher Asian population. So again, allegedly, this suggests that the company is using location and race to determine willingness to pay. Because we know damn well that Asian parents be cheap as shit, except when it comes to education. And that's not even all. Even the device that you're watching on right now could be used as a signal. Airlines or e-commerce sites sometimes show higher prices to people using expensive devices like Macs as opposed to budget PCs. But truly, the worst absolute example has got to be getting discriminated for staying loyal. Traditionally, insurance companies price based on risk, which is completely fair and we get it. But now, loyal customers who rarely switched insurance providers were found to often be charged higher renewals in a so-called loyalty penalty. So
now look, I'm gonna be honest. I'll switch my shit quick as shit. I can't even cap, bro. Now, some insurance, like car insurance specifically, they be locking you in for like 6 months. Sometimes 4 to 6 months, really. They be locking you in them deals. Bro, it'll be a good deal for them 4 to 6 months. After that, I'm not even going to name no names. After that, I think I was paying $180. Bro, it got to a point where I was paying $250, gang. I was like, what the fuck? I looked at our shit. I was like, $250? I canceled that shit, bro. I was like, bro, I'm not doing this shit, gang. Cancel that shit. Literally just typed in on Google, good insurance for whatever area. Boom. Got some shit for like $80, bro. I'm like, gang, I'm not gonna pay no $250 for no shit, bro. Especially whenever they don't even be wanting to help whenever something actually happened. Like, what the fuck am I paying you for? You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, no, bro. Insurance companies are a scam, bro.
If they find that
I don't even know how the fuck we fell for that bullshit. But it's like we need it. But like, I know there was another way, bro. I know there was another option.
Haven't been shopping around for a better deal, there's a good chance that you're about to pay a lot more. It's actually gotten so bad that about 20 US states have banned price optimization and personal insurance since 2015 because they found that a lot of older, lower income or less tech savvy customers were the most likely to be screwed. So even if regulators are doing their best to catch up, the pricing algorithms will always be one step ahead. And as they become more and more advanced, it's not crazy to say that we're headed towards this dystopian future where literally every aspect of your life becomes an auction of how much misery and urgencies the sellers can detect in you. And by that time, hundreds of thousands of people may have already paid the price. So I think it's looking more likely that the days of simple, stable prices are over. But it does remain to be seen whether we are heading towards a smarter market that benefits everyone, or it's more likely we're about to be charged the maximum that each one of you can afford to pay. And if companies are continually lured by the profitability of dynamic pricing, the early signs aren't looking good. Just last month, Black Friday hit a record $12 billion in spending, fueled by AI tools that guided shoppers to deals while quietly adjusting prices in real time.
Was this basketball hoop? Come on, bro. They not selling this shit for $500, game. Where the fuck is this at? Is this Target? I can't tell. But they're not selling this shit for $500, bro. That shit might have been $300. It might have been $300. That shit not $5, bro. Even if it was $5, they knew nobody was buying that shit at $5. That's why they had to drop it down to a regular $200 price, bro. Like, come on, bro. Nah, bro. We already watched a video on Black Friday, though. Like, and sadly, they did get record sales, so shit gonna continue like this for sure. They just gonna do the same shit until it don't work no more.
So the more this produces results and consumers don't push back, soon enough, every industry will have the tools to charge you the absolute maximum.
That's actually kind of crazy. I'm imagining, bro, like you're at McDonald's, and then they know your spending habits. They know, okay, he always gets the $6 meal deal. What if we upped it to $7? Is he still gonna buy the same meal deal, or is he gonna look for another meal? Now they're like, cause they have the app, bro. They have the app, so they have your spending habits, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. That shit kind of crazy. Like, they dead ass gonna have like everybody gonna be paying their own price for their own shit. Which is like a good thing, possibly, but I feel like it more so leans to being a bad thing. Because, say like, you make decent money, or even good money or whatever, you're able to spend like $20 on a fucking Big Mac, right? And you wouldn't bat an eye. But like, somebody who's not making that much money maybe can only spend like $7 on a Big Mac. So then their price is $7 and your price is $20, and you're just like, damn, inflation. And they're like, oh shit, a good deal. Or like, you know what I mean? And y'all don't even know like that y'all paying different prices for the shit. That's kind of crazy, bruh. That's crazy. That kind of makes you not even want to use like apps or anything to where like they can track you. But at the same time, it's like low-key inevitable. Like, it's really, really hard to avoid all that shit and be like completely unplugged.
You won't even know that it's happening. So look, it's hard to feel optimistic, but maybe there's some hope I can leave you with. For years, we've chased convenience from same-day shipping, one-click checkout to instant everything. And somewhere along the way, we got blinded to stop asking what we were giving up in the process. Back then, companies actually backed off with enough backlash. But now, companies know where you live, what you buy when you're desperate, and they're using it to charge you more because they know they can get away with it. And so in a world where nothing is free, the choice is yours. Ignore it and do nothing, or demand transparency and fairness. And maybe that's just the price that we all have to pay equally to avoid a world where everyone pays differently. So to understand what you can do, I'll be going even deeper into solutions next week in my free newsletter in the video description. But if you'd rather keep learning how money and power works, go and watch our video on how America profits off the financially stupid, and like this video. Thanks.
Oh, it's a good video, gang. I'm not gonna lie, it's a good vid. This is a good vid. I like this. Dynamic pricing needs to be illegal. Like, literally, I have no idea why. Like, you know what I mean? So if I look homeless, the algorithm set the price to 0. That's what I'm thinking, bro. That's what I'm thinking. I'm low-key thinking the only real way to manipulate this for real is figuring out what it takes to make the system drop. Like, make the system drop in price. Do I have to set my location to, like, a really, like, low-income area, like the lowest income area in my state or something? And then they're going to think, like, okay, all right, he's from this area. We're only going to charge him, like, $2 for this. And, like, whole time, like, I'm manipulating the system because it's like, shit, if y'all going to dynamic price me, let me try to get a good deal then. You know what I'm saying? But, and then a lot of people aren't going to do that anyway, so it'll take them a while to, like, really pick up on that. But, damn. That shit sucks, bro. That shit sucks. I'm going to be honest. Damn. Dynamic pricing. Who would have thought? Who would have thunk it? You know?